Yes.
Okay, so today we're going to do a read aloud, and this is going to be a two-part lesson that we're going to finish the next time that I come to see you guys. We're going to read Peter Pan, so if you guys could come to the table, not the table, the carpet, table 1.
So the fact that it's blinking red, that means it's videoing?
Table 2. Great. So, we're going to read Peter Pan. Has anyone heard of Peter Pan before? Everyone, right? It's a classic fairy tale. Okay. So, Peter Pan. I want you guys to pay attention to the ending of the story because the second part of this lesson is going to be you all writing a new ending to the story. It's called an alternate ending, and that's going to be part of Writer's Workshop, which is why we're doing it now. Okay, so Peter Pan. There was a faraway place where the sun always shone and the sky was blue and no one ever grew old. This place was called Neverland, and it was where Peter Pan and Tinker Bell lived. Do you think you guys would want to live in Neverland? Yeah, me too. Not so very far away, in the city of London, lived John, Wendy, and Michael Darling. Every night they would gather in the nursery to hear Wendy tell the wonderful tales of Peter Pan's adventures with friendly Indians and nasty pirates in Neverland. One night, when Wendy was telling John and Michael a favorite Peter Pan story, Nana, their St. Bernard, started barking outside in the yard. Not a moment later, Peter Pan appeared with Tinker Bell. "I came to find my shadow," said Peter Pan. "Nana took it from me the other night as I was secretly listening to your stories." Can you lose your shadow? No, right? That's never happened to me before. So what do you think that is? Emmy?
I think that is I think he was but maybe his shadow doesn't make him fly.
Maybe.
He needs his shadow to fly.
What about you, Rita?
Maybe he has his shadow, but if he would lift one hand, the shadow would do something wrong.
That's because it's a fairy tale, right? And you can do anything in a fairy tale. They're magical. So, here it is, said Wendy. John and Michael looked on in amazement as she sewed it back onto Peter's body. "I'm so glad we saw you tonight, Peter," Wendy said. "You see, tonight's my last night in the nursery because tomorrow I have to grow up. But that means no more stories," cried Peter, "unless I take you all back to Neverland with me." Wendy, John, and Michael couldn't believe their ears. "That would be wonderful," they shouted. Peter Pan sprinkled some of Tinker Bell's pixie dust over the children and told them to think happy thoughts. "Now you can fly," said Peter. Suddenly they were all soaring through the skies of London, heading directly towards Neverland. See them all flying? Down below they saw golden rainbows and blue waterfalls, and mermaids singing in the lagoon. It was the most beautiful place they had ever seen. There were beaches and deep bars, and of course there was the Indian camp. Yes, this was indeed Neverland. This is what Neverland looks like. So, Neverland seems like a magical place, right? I want you guys to turn and talk with a partner next to you and talk about, I'm going to give you a couple minutes, to talk about some of the elements of fairy tales that we've seen so far throughout this story. Sound good?
I saw the setting.
I think the main character is Peter Pan.
Peter Pan, Wendy, and
I'm just wondering, what would he say to take the children out?
And the setting is Neverland.
Neverland is set.
And in the sky.
Okay, so what did you guys think so far? Setting. What's different about the setting? What's magical about the setting? Mermaids, yeah. There aren't really mermaids, are there? What about you?
Golden rainbow, and also there's no such thing as
Right.
I don't get why they did it because it just
And right, and you're saying that because, what did it say?
They steal. Well, they do not
First
steal.
talks about
They
it.
steal things.
People about
They steal in this world.
It says a far away place where the sun always shines.
And we
Is that what you're thinking of? Yeah, but it's still magical. That was a great point, though.
You guys are in trouble.
So we're going to bring it back here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Does anybody want to share what they talked about with their partner? Rita?
The setting is Neverland.
In London? Yeah, good. What's it?
The good character is
Yeah, she's a good character, right? Good. What about any, like, not fairy tale. Magic elements? Go ahead, Chloe.
the magic is people can't find no such thing as feelings.
Right. Dina?
And the pixie dust and people can't fly.
Right. Oh, what's happening?
Neverland is not a real place. So basically, one of the settings is not really a real place. So if you want to go to Neverland, you would never really can.
But that's what's cool about fairy tales, because you can make things up and people will believe them.
That's why it starts with never.
Right. What's up? You can't lose your shadow. I've never lost my shadow before. Unless it's behind a building. I wanted to point out what Karthik said to me when I walked over to him. He said that there shouldn't really be any rainbows in Neverland because before it said that when we first introduced Neverland on the first page of the story, it says it was a faraway place where the sun always shone and the sky was blue. So how does a rainbow happen in the sky?
When there's rain.
When there's rain. So if there's no rain, I just thought that was really interesting that he pointed that out and thought of that because I didn't think of that. Yeah, how would it? I guess because it's water all around. But that's what you can do with fairy tales. You can make anything happen. Okay, so let's continue with our story. This way, called Peter Pan, as Wendy, John, and Michael landed in one of the forests. He led them to the secret underground home where he lived with his good friend, the Lost Boys. That's the underground. John and Michael played with the boys while Peter and Wendy went to visit the beautiful mermaids in the lagoon. So there's the mermaids that we were talking about. It was there that Peter Pan spied the Indian chief's daughter, Tiger Lily, tied up to the boat of the evil Captain Hook. Peter and Wendy could overhear the pirate demanding, "Tell me the hiding place of Peter Pan." But Tiger Lily wouldn't tell. "I have to save her," Peter told Wendy. They flew off together to Skull Rock, where Captain Hook had Tiger Lily. There, Peter challenged Captain Hook to a thrilling duel. Peter was so quick and brave that at last the nasty pirate landed in the water, only to be chased back to his ship by a ferocious crocodile. Peter rescued Tiger Lily and returned her to her father, the chief. That's the fighting. Captain Hook was very angry. "That cursed Peter Pan! I shall have my revenge against him once and for all," he cried. He captured Tinkerbell and forced her to show him where Peter Pan lived. Then he caged her in a lantern. Can someone tell me something about our character, Captain Hook? Yeah?
He's one of the evil characters.
He's one of the evil characters. What else? Grant?
He's kind of like a captain of a crew.
Right.
He is.
What else?
He looks like a pirate.
He does look like a pirate. He is a pirate. He's the captain pirate. Good. As Captain Hook's band of pirates approached Peter Pan's home, the Darlings and the Lost Boys were coming up from underground. One by one, they were taken and captured to the pirate ship. Oh no, they got all of them. Even Wendy. Peter Pan will save us, said Wendy bravely. Captain Hook roared with wicked laughter. Pan will never be able to save you, he shouted. You will walk the plank. No one noticed as Tinker Bell escaped from the lantern. She flew as fast as she could to alert Peter Pan. Look at that. She's on the plank. What do you think's going to happen next? Emmy?
She's gonna be forced to jump off.
You think so? What else?
She's gonna jump off and Peter Pan's gonna save her.
Because he flies. What else? Anybody else? Panop?
I agree with Jahad that Wendy will jump off, but then Peter Pan will come.
So everybody thinks Peter Pan's going to save the day? No? Who else? What do you think, Rita?
I think that she's gonna jump off and fly off somewhere else because Peter Pan made her fly.
Mm-hmm. These are all great ideas. I'm going to move on, though. Once Tinker Bell reached Peter Pan, he raced out to sea to rescue his friends. I've come to stop you once and for all, Captain Hook, said Peter. This time you've gone too far. After another fierce duel, Peter Pan threw Hook and all the pirates overboard. Hook was chased away by the crocodile, and nobody cared to save him. Thank you ever so much for rescuing us, Peter, said Wendy. We would love to stay in Neverland a while longer, but it's getting late, and I think it's time for us to leave. John and Michael nodded in agreement. There's Peter with all Captain Hook's stuff. Well, if that's the case, said Peter, we sail tonight. Once again, Peter Pan sprinkled Tinker Bell's pixie dust over everyone, and Captain Hook's pirate ship was suddenly sailing through the skies of Neverland, heading back to the Darlings' home in London. Look at the ship flying now, not even just the people. That takes a lot of pixie dust, right? Not really? Tank's really powerful then. But before Peter Pan and Tinker Bell started off for Neverland, they made Wendy, John, and Michael promise to never forget them, and they never did. The end. Okay, so now, since we're splitting this into two parts, you guys have your fairy tale, what are they, your fairy tale charts?
Charts.
Yeah, the charts. So I want you guys to go back to your desks and think about what would go in this for Peter Pan. Sound good? Oh, what did you think of the story? Liam? Yeah.
Like story and what the lesson was?
No, what, oh, yeah, what's the lesson of the story?
The lesson was if you're trying to like never be
Never be greedy? Natasha?
When we said never forget, or Neverland, never forget.
Oh, yeah, that's a good thing.
That I thought about the questions because you said in the beginning that we have to write a new ending for the story.
Great.
So I'm thinking about all the endings that people said.
Right. And are you thinking ahead and thinking about something that you might write for a new ending? Cool. That's great. What was the setting? Nina? Neverland? Good. What else? And London. Good. Who is our good character? Olivia?
Wendy, Tinkerbell, Peter Pan.
We got a lot of good characters in this one, right? Who's our evil character? Andrew?
Captain Hook and his crew.
Yeah, they're bad pirates. What?
His crew didn't do it.
I think in the movie the crew is really bad, right? And he has a sidekick, but he wasn't really in the book. Mr. Smith, you guys know this story really well, huh? No?
No, because not Smith. Not Smith. Oh, Mr. Smith.
All right, good. So I want you guys to all think about what we just said, and now you can go fill out your charts. Great. So you can go back to your desk.